10 college friends came to explore this Mossdale cave during summer vacation. When they went inside this cave and what happened to them after an hour, the whole world was shocked. Even the cave rescue team could not understand how this happened to them. When this news was broadcasted all over the world, people started sweating after hearing it. Whoever was listening to this news was getting scared. So what happened to those friends at cave? On June 24th, 1967, 10 people from Happy Wonders and Bedford Paws Club decided that they would explore Mossdale Cave today. This Mossdale Cave is a dangerous cave located in Yorkshire, which is about 10 kilometers long and has many muddy and winding paths inside which make one scared just by looking at them. These 10 people reached there on the afternoon of June 24th. Their purpose was to enjoy inside the cave and discover new paths. After reaching the cave, these 10 people made 2 teams. There were 4 people in the first team and 6 people in the second team. These people entered the cave wearing all their belongings. For the first few hours, they enjoyed fully inside the cave, laughed and joked with each other. But after going a little distance, they came across very small paths from which it was not easy to get out. That is why 4 of the Happy Wonders refused to go further, because they believed that there could be danger ahead. And at 5 o'clock in the evening, these people come out of the cave. Now your heart will be terrified to hear what was about to happen. On coming out of the cave, they realize that the weather outside has become very bad and a very strong wind is blowing. So 3 of them go back to England, but one of his friends, Morgan Forbes, decides to stay there near the cave. Now there were these 6 people inside the cave: 19-year-old Bill Frakes, 23-year-old Colin Vickers, and 26-year-old Dave Adamson, who had come to this cave many times, and he had made a plan to explore this cave. 24-year-old Jeff Boireau, 17-year-old Michael Ryan, and 21-year-old John Ogden. These 6 people were slowly getting inside the cave. It was 7 in the evening now. The strong wind had turned into a storm. No one had imagined what was going to happen. Along with the storm, heavy rain also started. Morgan, standing outside the cave, got scared seeing this rain because she knew what could happen now. What Morgan was scared of happened. Due to heavy rain, a lot of water was going inside the cave, but these 6 people inside the cave had no clue about what was happening outside. After some time, these 6 people reached a place named for Marathon inside the cave, where only 1 or 2 people have been able to reach so far. On one hand, they were very happy for their achievement, and on the other hand, their death was standing behind them. The cave was now filled with so much water that the water had reached close to them. They were crawling inside the cave, so the water came up to their mouths. Dave Adamson, who was senior to all of them and had the most experience at caves, told the 5 of them to find a place where they could stand with their faces upwards so that they could get oxygen. Outside the cave, Morgan was not able to understand what to do next. He tried to go a little inside the cave and find them, but by this time he had gone very deep inside the cave. It was 9 p.m. now, and the entire cave had become a lake. At that time in 1967, very few people had a phone. Morgan knew that now he would have to go to someone and ask for help. Morgan ran 2 to 3 kilometers in heavy rain and reached a nearby farmhouse, where she called the police and cave rescue team at 11 p.m. On receiving the call, when the Upper Wharfedale rescue team reached near Mossdale Cave, they were shocked to see the scene there, because the entire cave was filled with water, and this cave looked like a lake. The rescue team knew that this task was out of their reach. That is why they called many rescue teams. As the rescue team came to know about this incident, they immediately reached Mossdale Cave, and all the rescue teams were scared seeing the scene there. Now, when a lot of people gathered near this cave, the question arose in front of the rescue team that how to go into such a dangerous and muddy cave. The condition of the cave was so bad at night that they were just disappointed. The rescue team called for many vehicles, tractors, etc., in the middle of heavy rain at night. The next day, on June 25th, the place around Mossdale Cave looked as if a war had taken place there. All the rescue teams standing there decided that they would dig a trench 6 feet wide, 10 feet deep, and about 100 yards long. This task seemed difficult because they did not have much resources. There was no equipment, but it was necessary to do this work. The team did not waste much time and started digging the trench. Many people were digging the pit with their hands. These people were wondering whether they would be able to dig the trench, and even if they could, would it work or would their hard work go waste? Now it was a miracle that there were so many people. They dug the trench in the morning itself. Now the only question before them was whether it would work. Keeping this question in mind, when these people attached the trench to the cave, water started flowing out of the cave very fast. Now it was the turn to save the people trapped in the cave. 41-year-old Jim Eyre, who was a well-known caver of England, took the responsibility of taking this risk. The lucky thing for Jim was that 7 days before this tragedy, Dave Adamson had invited Jim to go with him. Although Jim Eyre was a courageous caver, he was also afraid of going into Mossdale Cave. But now his friend was trapped inside the cave, so it was very difficult for him to go inside the cave. It was necessary. Jim and some people got ready to go into the cave. Before going inside, some pipes were installed in the trench so that the water could flow out faster. After working all morning and night, the team was very tired, so Jim and the rest of the people were feeling very sleepy, but still they thought it necessary to go into the cave. Jim and the rescue team slowly started entering the cave, holding their hearts. They were feeling very scared in this cave because strange sounds were coming due to the water in the cave. After a few hours, they reached the rough chamber. It was as big as a room where only standing was possible. After standing there for some time, they heard the sound of splashing, but it was only their mind. As the water level in the cave was going down, Tony Waltham, senior team wonders, joined the rescue because he knew Mossdale Cave very well. He was going to host a further path of the rough chamber with Jim Eyre, which is called Far Marathon. Waltham was surprised to know this. They wondered how those 6 people went beyond Far Marathon, because till date, only a few people had gone beyond him. Tony Waltham was afraid to go beyond Far Marathon, but it was also very important for him to go ahead. As he was going ahead, the silence was increasing because the water in the cave was getting less because of the pipe outside. There was a path of 900 feet and 5 hours of crawling ahead of Far Marathon, that too very narrow. After going a little further, Waltham found 2 dead bodies. Then after going further, 3 more dead bodies were found. When this message was given outside the cave, his family was inconsolable, but still they had not found the 6th caver, who was John Ogden. He was searched further, but he was not found anywhere. This was a twist in this story. When Jim Eyre called the team, the reply came from outside that get out of the cave now. The situation outside is getting worse because the pipe that drains water from the cave is about to break. Hearing this, the entire rescue team went to find those 5 dead bodies. Leaving the cavers in the cave, they came out of the cave. Now the question in front of everyone was that where would the 6th caver John Ogden be? Would he also be dead, or would he be standing somewhere and waiting for all of them? Now the rescue team asked for advice from Bobby Like. He was a person who had explored this cave and made a map of this cave. He told the rescue team that John Ogden could still be alive ahead of the marathon. But the worst thing happened was that it started raining again in the evening. That is why the rescue team stood with folded hands the whole night. On Tuesday morning, the rescue team entered the cave again. By this time, Mossdale Cave had become world news. TV anchors, media, etc. were reaching near Mossdale Cave. Due to the heavy rain last night, it now seemed impossible that John Ogden would still be alive. However, it was estimated by experienced cavers that John Ogden could still be alive. That is why they, the rescue team, made a last attempt to get into the cave. A team of 6 people was formed, and they were going ahead of the marathon when they found a ring there. After going a little further, they also found a shoe there. From this, it was assumed that maybe John is still alive, and he is calling them through these signs. But even after searching inside the cave for the whole day, they could not find John. Even after searching every corner of the cave, there was no trace of John. The doctor standing outside the cave said that John must have died by drowning in the water, and the flow of water must have picked him up and thrown him somewhere far away. By this time, the task of finding John was also becoming risky because it was raining heavily outside and all the water was going inside the cave. It was impossible to even take those 5 dead bodies out. That is why the rescue team, after taking consent from the police, doctor, and the families of those 6 cavers, abandoned the effort to search for the 5 dead bodies and John and came out of the cave. By this time, more than 300 people had gathered around the cave. With everyone's consent, it was decided that John must have died in the cave itself, and it was impossible to take those 5 dead bodies out of the cave. That is why those 6 dead bodies were allowed to remain inside the cave, and Mossdale Cave was closed forever, and a stone board was made outside the cave with the names of these 6 people written on it. I hope you liked this video. See you in the next video.